Well, hello again. Welcome to the Bernie Show here on STL Sports Central, my happy home. The Bernie Show presented by DraftKings. The crown is yours. I am, as a matter of fact, Bernie Miklasz, and I've been writing and talking about St. Louis area sports, including the colleges and all kinds of other stuff since 1985. I do 5 videos and I write 5 columns each week here on STL Sports Central, and I am always very happy to join my friend Randy Carricker on his show here for a couple of segments, usually late in the week. You can also catch me frequently on multiple shows on KMOX, FM, and AM. I think I make 8 appearances each week. I think it's 8, sometimes more. Today's topic, and you're just going to have to forgive me for this one, but I just got to get some stuff out. I just have to do it. And then I can be more sane and rational moving forward. So, therefore, topic: why are we still talking about Miles Mikolas? Are you kidding me? Why is this happening? I got to go media sheriff here again, and I know it's annoying. Hell, I even annoy myself, so I get it. So, but why have I seen in recent weeks, why have I seen 2 or 3 columns or blogs in the market pondering the grand question of whether it makes sense to bring Miles Mikolas back for 2026 on a 1-year deal? You know, he is an innings eater and all that stuff, which no longer is true, by the way. Anyway, so before I start ripping away, let me do something that I think I need to do. Allow me to criticize myself for a moment for doing a video on Miles Mikolas, because it is low-hanging fruit for sure. So yeah, you can rip me for taking a swing at such ridiculous low-hanging fruit, but I just couldn't resist. At least I admit it. And I do come from a good place. I'm sincere when I tell you I wouldn't care about this, except I have no idea why it keeps coming up. Maybe I'm overstating that, but it's come up a few times I've seen in recent weeks, and it's driven by the media, and it really bugs me. Why should it bug me? Probably not as much as it does, but it does bug me. But I thought I could vent and get it off my chest and move on. And we know, listen, we know that this is a soft media market. And this preposterous Mikolas discussion just reaffirms the obvious about that. I get it. Mikolas was nice to the baseball media because he posted up at his locker in the clubhouse after every start, which he's supposed to do, by the way. Are we handing out medals for that? I heard that a lot. You know, he shows up to answer our questions even after he pitches a really bad start. Okay, what is it? What do we give him? What, the Presidential Medal of Freedom? What are we going to give? What are we going to give Miles? Always heard, you know, oh, he's so funny, he's sharp with a quip, he has a clever mind, he's a good quote. Like I said, I get all that. I don't care about it, but I get it. But his happy media relations have absolutely nothing to do with him pitching for the Cardinals in 2026. The mere mention of this is absolutely insane. But again, why am I surprised? Because media sheriff talking here, the same media stood by lousy start after bad start after lousy start and listened to Mikolas make excuses and tell his media pals that he was a victim of bad luck. He'd give up 2 or 3 bombs in a start, and those bombs bursting through air, and then he would stand in front of his locker, and he would talk about how the other side hit the ball hard 2 or 3 times. But other than that, I'm okay with the way I pitched. He was always pleased with his performance. Not always, but way too many times he was kind of smug and pleased with his performance, even when there was nothing good to talk about or not much. But even it's just the decorum of, look, man, I just gave up 8 runs. You know, the TV broadcasters will make an excuse for me, so I don't have to do it for myself. And there's just a time and a place to not talk about bad luck. what, kind of when you're getting your head caved in, for example. Anyway, none of these media folks ever called him out for this crap. So yeah, this has been bugging me for a while. Listen, there's nothing to debate here, which is why it's so damn silly to pretend this is a subject that has merit. Where there are two legitimate sides to the yes or the no. Miles Mikolas debate. Forget about it. Don't be stupid. There's enough of that in this world. Last season, among the 65 major league starters who worked at least 150 innings, 65 starters, 150 innings plus, here is where Miles Mikolas ranked in the various categories. He was 56th among 65 in earned run average at 4.84. He was 62nd among the 65 in fielding independent ERA of 5.03. Mikolas, the innings eater, he ranked 56th among the 65 pitchers in most innings pitched. 56th. How in the hell is that an innings eater? It was his lowest total in the major leagues in a healthy season. He was pelted for a 272 batting average by opponents. That ranked 59th among the 65. The 492 slugging percentage ripped against Miklasz was tied for the worst, the highest against the starting pitcher in the big leagues. He ranked 62nd among the 65 with a home runs allowed rate of 1.7 per 9 innings. Miklasz ranked 64th, next to last in strikeout rate. He ranked 65th, that would be last in swing and miss rate. The contact rate against Miklasz last season was 85.4%, which was the highest as in the worst against any starting pitcher who worked 150 plus innings in 2025. Okay. But Bernie, he gets them hitters to chase those pitches out of the strike zone. Well, he used to when he first came back from Japan or Korea, or he actually pitched in both places. Yeah, that first year back, he was getting guys to chase all the time because they didn't know him. They didn't know what to expect. They caught on to it, and they stopped chasing, and then he was in a lot of trouble. Last season, Miles Mikolas, among the 65 starters with 150 innings, 55th in chase rate. What about his terrible performance early in game? He had a 5.81 ERA in the first inning last season, put the Cardinals behind way too many times. And his first two times through the opponent's lineup last season, he was smashed for 28 home runs and a 517 slugging percentage. Yeah, let's make sure, let's go bring that back. Let's go bring that back and plug it in. Those guys are hard to find. I mean, the lunacy of this is just incomprehensible. But anyway, the Mikolas media friends, maybe I call them friends of Miles in the media. They love to talk about how well he pitched at Busch Stadium. How many times do we hear that on the TV side, right? What's the point exactly? What does that prove? I have a question. What do you say about how he pitched on the road? How do you propose we work around that bloody carnage? Would you plan for a 2026 rotation in St. Louis that has Mikolas in it, except that, he'll only pitch at Busch Stadium. He'll only make his starts at Busch Stadium, never on the road. What you're going to get Ollie Marmol to set that up so you can take care of your boy, keep him around to give you them good quotes? Mikolas, in case you missed it, I don't think you did. He had a 6.30 ERA on the road last season, and he was assaulted for 28 homers in 74 2/3 innings away from Busch Stadium. How are we going to work around that? The road slugging percentage against Miles Mikolas last season was .608. He embarrassed himself in the franchise by throwing batting practice at Wrigley Field during actual games to grateful Cubs hitters who unloaded off him and destroyed him. So again, other than the fact that he's pally with the pudding soft media, what is the case for bringing Mikolas back to serve as a punching bag, a speed bag for a fourth consecutive season? Since the start of 2023, he ranks 98th among 105 innings qualified starters in ERA. He is 102nd among the 105 inning qualified starter in strikeout rate. And he has got the absolute worst dead last swing and miss rate. Plus, only 3 major league starting pitchers have been whacked for more home runs over the last 3 years. Great. Let's sign him up. Let's do it again. And in 2026, Miles Mikolas, hey, there's some other value, some benefits to this. He can inspire the young Cardinals pitchers by teaching them how to make excuses to a gullible media while refusing to hold himself accountable for his stinko performances. That's exactly what you want when you're starting a new era, and you want to set a good example for the young pitchers and players to come. You want a guy like that making excuses and not pointing the finger at himself. Yeah, I'm sure that's just what Chaim Bloom wants. Listen, you might have not heard the news. John Mozeliak is gone, okay? The only reason I bring that up, and I know I'm being a smart aleck, I bring it up because, listen, Mo's not here. So that means no more free passes for Miklasz. The media is not allowed to hand him out just because they like him and they're charmed by him for some reason. No more free passes for Miklasz. No more stupid contract extensions for Miklasz. And over the past 3 seasons, you think we'd have seen enough. The Cardinals have paid Miklasz nearly $60 million in salaries over the 3 years to be one of the worst starting pitchers in the majors by any measure. But the Miles Mikolas benefactor, Mo, is gone. Mo does not work here anymore. And Miles Mikolas should not, and he will not work here anymore either. And yet we're going to write a column. We're going to do some blogs. We're going to have some talk show segments. We're going to ponder the possibility. Well, I think Miles could help. We're going to actually talk about that. We have talked about that. Are we going to still talk about that, or can we move on? Good grief. I feel embarrassed that I'm actually doing this video because the whole topic is so stupid. So when I return for my second segment, I'm going to move it forward. I'm going to explain the more sensible course of action that Chaim Bloom will likely take, even though the Cardinals are rebuilding and will be operating with another low payroll in 2026. But first, some pleasant news and an update from DraftKings. Missouri, get ready. The wait is almost over. DraftKings Sportsbook, America's top-rated sportsbook app, is coming soon to the Show Me State. As I record today's video on this Tuesday morning, the DraftKings launch in our state of Missouri is only 19 days away. 19. So it's time for new Missouri customers. You can do this now. You can download the DraftKings Sportsbook app today, and when we go live on the 1st of December, you place just a $5 bet to unlock $300 in bonus bets. And starting November the 17th, and that's 6 days from now, so this is timely news, you can actually create your DraftKings Sportsbook account in Missouri and get ready for the launch day on the first day of December. DraftKings Sportsbook brings you everything you need to enhance your game day experience, including live in-game betting, lightning fast payouts. No, none of this. Well, you'll get your money in 3 days. None of that stuff. You'll get action on dozens of sports and endless ways to play, all right from your phone. And when we officially go live in Missouri, you'll be bet with the Sportsbook app that is trusted by millions because it's safe, it's secure, it has fast money withdrawals, and other really nice features. So download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and grab the $300 in bonus bets, which is a $5 bet when we go live December 1st in partnership with DraftKings Sportsbook. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Must be 21 or older. Physically present in Missouri. Eligibility restrictions apply. Bonus bets expire 7 days after being issued. Excludes customers who redeem pre-launch sign-up offer. Terms can be found at sportsbook.draftkings.com/promos. All right. Welcome back to the second segment of the Bernie Show here on STL Sports Central. I would ask you a favor. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit that thumbs up like button under the video. It really does help us, and we are thankful for your support. Bloom has a sensible, if unexciting, approach to making sure the Cardinals have sufficient starting pitching depth in 2026 until some of the young guys come along. And see, I'm not here to inflate the fake party balloons. I know you don't like the idea of, they're gonna be really conservative. They're not gonna spend money. Listen, man, I get it. I know why you don't like it. I just happen to think it's time to rebuild, and if you're going to rebuild, do it the right way. That's just me. We can disagree. So I'm not here to inflate fake party balloons and tell you something that you want to hear, even though I don't think it's going to happen, because I don't believe the Cardinals are going to be spending much money this offseason. Now, I have no idea what that means, but they were pretty low last season. I think they'll be just as low, if not maybe a little lower, maybe a little bit more than where they were last year. So unless there's a big surprise, which, listen, I can't entirely rule that out because I'm getting more familiar with the way Chaim Bloom works, and I think he's always digging around on things just to see what the possibilities are. He doesn't rule anything out, but I do expect him to look for bargains on the starting pitching market. His goals are modest, and modest can be unexciting, but modest does not have to be worthless or meaningless. Last offseason, around 40 major league starting pitchers who were free agents signed one-year contracts with their new teams. And as you might expect, a lot of these guys were signed for, metaphorically speaking, pennies on the dollar. Some were coming off injuries. Teams were just taking a low-cost gamble on them. And as you might expect, many of them were flops or they suffered injuries and nothing really happened. But there were some solid finds out there, especially for teams that wanted guys who could supply bulk starts and innings. 10 of these one-year deal guys, 10 of these starting pitchers on one-year contracts, 10 of them, combined for 234 starts. 8 of the one-year contract starters made at least 21 starts, and 2 others were just under 20 starts. Some of the best bargains were Jose Quintana, Colin Ray, Adrian Hauser, Griffin Canning, before Canning ruptured his Achilles tendon in his 17th start. Michael Lorenzen and a couple of other guys weren't really bad. I mean, they were okay. They weren't really bad until maybe fading later in the season, real late in the season. So there are guys like that out there every year. There's also guys out there who didn't pitch much last season, but who are free agents. And now that they're one more year away from when they had Tommy John elbow surgery or maybe a shoulder surgery, sometimes it takes guys 2 years to sort of get everything back and sync, including the velocity. So there's going to be some of those guys out there too, for Bloom to look at. He and his people think, well, maybe that's a worthwhile gamble. Bloom's going to be looking at candidates for short-term deals. And as I mentioned recently, this appears to be a good time to take this approach because the key word here is, quote, opportunistic. It isn't unusual to see starting pitchers who can't get the multi-year deals that they're seeking to settle for one-year contracts and even do it with rebuilding teams because it takes the pressure off. This gives them a way to reestablish or reinforce their value. They're kind of doing it away from the bright lights in the big markets, the playoff contenders. And then if they can reestablish, I can still be an effective pitcher, then they're going to have an opportunity, in theory, to increase their value even more by being traded to a contender at the trade deadline. And then it's kind of like you're announcing to the baseball world, I'm back. I'm ready to go. I'm good again. So it's all about enhancing their resume for a future shot at a longer contract. Baseball's owners and players, you don't need me to tell you this, they're bracing for a labor stoppage ahead of the 2027 seasons. Let's hope it does not happen. But if it does happen, or I should say just the fear of that happening, could suppress this winter's market for starting pitchers who are seeking that long-term security, and they may not find it, or they probably won't find it, given the concern about changes to come, if they come, because of the labor stuff, possible salary cap, major changes to the pay structure. Because of all that, fear of the unknown to come, pitchers might opt for the safe scenario, get what you can and get it now, and then circle back and go for a sweeter deal after the labor battle ends. I don't think, guys want to be left holding the bag, It's like, well, no, I'm signing a multi-year deal, and it's not going to come because some teams might back off on that because of what might happen in 2027. I mean, I don't know. It's a time of uncertainty. If there's a surprise, it could be that the Cardinals trade for a younger starting pitcher that has 2 or 3 seasons to go before he can become a free agent, more preferably like 3 years. That's why Edward Cabrera has gotten some recognition as a possible name, the Miami pitcher. Got 3 years to go before he can leave as a free agent. Another surprise possibility is Bloom and his people finding pitching in the international market, especially Japan and South Korea. I don't think the Cardinals would be competing, obviously, at the top of the international market, but this is where Bloom's Tampa Bay training factors in. And who knows, maybe they will spend more money than I expect in pursuit of an international talent. No, not the guys that the Dodgers are after. I'm not talking about that. I'm not crazy. I'm a little goofy, but I'm not nuts, okay? So with this type of exercise, this is where Bloom's Tampa Bay training factors in. And this applies not only to the internationals, but the major leagues as well, and even in the minor leagues, because there are usually some AAA pitchers that smart front offices identify as major league ready. And for a low cost, it's a worthwhile gamble. The Rays were consistently adept at finding pitching talent that other teams fail to pay much attention to. And this would be a good time for Bloom to flex and do that again, but for the Cardinals. Miles Mikolas, not in the plans. The Cardinals have already moved on. Maybe it's a good idea for everyone else to do the same and move on. It's a new era of Cardinals baseball, and it should not include something as dumb as repeating John Mozeliak's mistakes. We are not members of a cult, okay? Let's get on with our lives. Thanks for watching, and a thank you to DraftKings for presenting The Bernie Show. Have a great rest of your Tuesday, and thanks for supporting STL Sports Central.